This is another one of the buildings, the Ringling Brother Barnum and Bailey Circus Museum in Baraboo, Wisconsin. And this is really neat. It's got a lot of the clowns and all the clowns, little cars they drove in the 20s and 30s. And they got different famous clowns' clothes here. And the ringmaster from way back when. And here's the little cars they had decorated up. And just a lot. Here's an old video of this old boy with his little dog. And he's got rabbit ears on him there, if you can see in the video. And they have all the history. 7 buildings full of, 7 of them full of everything from this clown here. His name was Happy. And he had his little dog Tuffy with him all the time when he traveled. And they go over and talk about the little skits they performed. This guy was Happy the Clown, and his name was Jimmy Williams. And there he is in that little car right there, up there if you can see with that light shining on it. That's that little car right there. He was traveling in the circus. This guy, Otto Greibling, he wore that top right there, and then he carried that very box around and looked for the rightful owner of it with an address on it, and he would make a skit with that book right there. He would cross off a name, and it says Priority Air Express on his hat. He was looking for the owner of that box, and that's the box he carried around. And you can see him right there with that box. And another of the famous clowns. But this is literally all the stuff. And here's some of the shoes they wore and different things. And things they used from the skits, hammers and stuff. And this is just the clown part of this. One horsepower. This little car had, it said. Then down here, this coat here, 3 generations of the Cook family performed with the funny Ford comedy car on display behind you. The costume to your left represents all 3 men. Merle owned the hat, Jack wore the jacket, and the shoes belonged to George. And that's the brothers that performed for the circus. This is some original cars and the things they used in the circus. This is the old pipe organ that traveled. If you can see the keys there, and they traveled around the circus ground, inside the big tent. And this is the grounds where we're at now. If you can see, all 7 of these buildings they used to winter here in Baraboo, Wisconsin. And then they started moving south and performing all over the United States. They had the Elephant House, the Animals House. They had the ring barn where they used, and the camels and horse building. And they've got so much unique, nostalgic stuff here. This is the original custom-built car for Gargantua the Great. He was an ape that traveled with the circus, In 1938, John Ringling North obtained control of the Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus. North, a nephew of the 5 Ringling Brothers, who founded the circus in 1884, needed a stellar attraction to increase interest in the circus. He found it in a gorilla named Buddy in a house pet in Brooklyn, New York home. Buddy grew too difficult for Mrs. Lentz, his owner, to handle. She sold him the circus for 10 grand. And he traveled with the circus, capitalizing on publicly generated by the huge ape in the 1933 movie King Kong. And there's this car right there with some circus guys with the gorilla actually in it. And there it is. They constructed this 26-foot long vehicle to house the gorilla. So anyway, that's some more stuff.